Hello, this is Capcom vs. SNK Pro on Dreamcast. I'm going to play arcade mode, and we'll see how I do. So my team this time was picked by my team building script, and it said to pick King. I'm gonna hit it's on my PlayStation 4 stick running through a converter. Triangle and circle. Let's do that. King, EX. Oh, did I forget? EX somebody. Am I gonna run out of time? Probably. EX Cammy. And EX E.Honda. I made it. I can never remember these teams for the life of me. I remember it, and then I do my greeting, and then I've forgotten it. Oh boy, my... Yeah, God. It's just a gray king. So wait, do I have a double strike? A or B, it says. What? Are you kidding me? I have to do 2 quarter circles? Why? I forgot they screwed King up. They messed King's moves up. There you go. So to do a double strike, you have to do the double motion. That's weird. Why would they do that? In KOF, the single strike is the light kick, and the double strike is the heavy kick. That's simpler. It works fine for everybody. You don't need 2 buttons. Move. Go. Oh, wow, she just... Okay, she went ham. I'm dead. I'm mad. I wonder if EX King is less weird. And EX Cammy, she's got the spiral arrow and the uppercut kick thing, and another thing. Oh God. I can't even tell what Cammy's other third move is. Kind of like Lavender Cammy here with the brown boots. I mean, something quarter circle back, but dang. Wow, she just... Just realized that Cammy's kick throw is just like Joe Higashi's kick throw. That's kind of interesting. Dark. So, bunch of Street Fighter 6 teasers or trailers were released today. It's been a while, and this time they actually showed a little bit of fighting. Not really like in the wild fighting, but carefully staged fighting, but and they also kind of showed that it's gonna have what looks like a quest mode. Like, they showed a couple very quick shots that looked like basically sort of free roaming and climbing buildings and running through alleyways in this city. And the city, I could have sworn that one shot had a Statue of Liberty in it. It looks like it's some sort of alternate near future New York, but I think they call it Metro City, so who knows. But it's this big New York-like city, except it's maybe a little more like just built up like a crowded Asian city or something, with just like super dense residential high-rises and stuff, with all kinds of sort of jury-rigged balconies and all kinds of stuff that people have just kind of built up on it. So what else does this weird king have anyway? Got the weird double strike. We got the uppercut motions forward and backwards. It's all on kick, half circle back kick. So she doesn't have any punch moves. Why would they, why would they rearrange all her moves? So that's forward uppercut motion. That's half circle back. Crack shot is uppercut back, which is not the right move to. Why did I let him hit me with 3 fireballs? I was meaning to roll and I did not. So I'm doing really bad as king. I'm just confused by his specials and I'm letting that distract me. Oh. It sounds like she says farmer arrow. The farmer caught up with you, buddy. I mean, when you're going around wearing a skull necklace, what do you think's gonna happen? Well, that was calling for a cannon spike, and of course, I did not even think to do it. Wow, so her cannons... Oh, wow. Oh, she jabs out my farmer arrow. Whoa. Neutral jump. That's the thing about the AI in this game. They don't like to block. They will do just about everything that... Oh, that was supposed to be it. Uppercut. Well, it's no use doing it now. Oh, wow. He suckered me good. He saw I was trying to roll, and I was failing to roll. And then when I finally got the roll in, he just did the attack that I couldn't roll through. Watch, he won't want to block this either. He's trying to jump over it. Oh, you can just kick that. Oh. I can't roll. What is wrong? Rather, I'm still not a very good E.Honda. Hello. Shit. I can't do crack shot. You know what? Wow. I can't handle this king. This king's all messed up. I think I gotta get rid of her. Take her out of my pick list. So this, I mean, what's cool about this Street Fighter is that they're actually, you know, working on making a single-player mode for once, aside from just an arcade mode, which I think they said it will have. But, so that's cool, and, you know, I mean, I like Quest Mode and Virtua Fighter, right? I'm not sure I really want to spend time, you know, navigating around a 3D city. Don't really want having to run up ladders to rooftops and stuff in a fighting game. That sounds really boring. Uh-oh. And like, can I play that with an arcade stick? Can I navigate your weird city with my arcade stick? Capcom. Oh my gosh, he got me with 2 supers. That was weird. Oh, I got him. I thought I was gonna die. The other thing that at first I thought it was a new style of animation. I was really excited. It looked more kinetic and sort of high tempo and aggressive. But it wasn't really. I was fooled by these. They have these very splashy, colorful, elaborate effects around the characters in the fights in the teasers. Which are it's a cool effect. It's kind of flashy, but in a sort of fluid way that hopefully will, you know, trigger my occasional photosensitivity and give me migraines or anything. I don't think it will, because it's not a fast, flashy thing. It's these colorful flares. Anyway. Wow. Oh, I didn't think that hit him. But all of that is kind of disguising that the animation style is very much... Is that a cheap finish? Was he blocking? It's just a Street Fighter V animation style. It still looks... The thing that bothers me about Street Fighter V's animation is that they try to do this kind of slow motion thing for dramatic moments of a hit or something like that. so the character swings their arm, then it comes and it's contacting or about to contact the opponent for the punch, and they slow things down a little right then. But they do this ease in, ease out thing with the animation, so it's always sort of a very slightly gradual slowdown and then a very slightly gradual speed up. So the effect of the thing is that their moves are just all these, just kind of, there's this constant sluggishness to them where they're slowing down, re-accelerating, and it makes their animations feel not snappy, just kind of slow, like you're always waiting for this acceleration to catch up. And it gets really boring to watch, especially when in Street Fighter V is really based around these arbitrary little, everybody's got these sort of bread and butter combos that they just have to kind of do over and over. And so you're just watching those in this very sort of lackadaisical movement style over and over, and it gets really boring. So they still got the sort of ease in, ease out animation going. Now it's covered up by a whole lot of colorful color swirls, but I think once you get used to those, it's still just gonna feel like Street Fighter V animation. A big difference in the combat, well, there's something with you don't have the normal like super meter. You've got like a drive meter, which I think is full at the beginning of the fight or something, and it's supposedly used for offense and defense. They haven't gone into that much. They haven't explained that. This is on their website where they do explain a little of what these things are called, at least. And the other thing which they mention on the website is that, so throws are still by hitting light punch and light kick together, which is third strike style, which I don't like. But the other, you hit medium punch and medium kick together. Are they not blocking this? You hit medium punch and medium kick together in Street Fighter 6. They're saying to, I forget what they call it, but it's basically it's a universal parry. It seems like. So that's sort of they should, at least two spots in the animations. They have a teaser that's like they have built-in commentary that what's his name? Vicious is the English commentator that they got to generate this sort of generated commentary. Ryu does this a lot. And then there's I think the game's in, they said 12 languages, so I guess they might have commentators for all the languages. They only showed the English commentary and the Japanese commentary. The Japanese, I would totally, well, first of all, if you can't turn the commentary off in single player, that would be a disaster, so I imagine you can turn it off. But I would much rather listen to the Japanese commentary, because then, you don't actually, I don't actually understand what they're saying, so it doesn't get as repetitive or irritating in that sense. And generally, Japanese commentators are just more interesting with their inflection and everything. They're just kind of got this weird game show host thing down. Oh man, he got me. But so this universal parry thing. So in that commentary video, though, there's more actual, what looks like actual combat than in the main teaser trailer that got released that went out in like PlayStation's State of Play or something. And I noticed at least two instances where it looks like somebody's doing a parry thing where, like Chun-Li, I think she's fighting Ryu, and she kind of catches a punch or something and turns and then kicks him. And I forget what the other one was. And that kind of seems to be, that's kind of a big turning point in that part of the fight there, and it's an interesting animation.
Escape from death.
Animation-wise, it makes for an interesting moment. Well, that was an interesting. The air-to-air caught him in his leap. And he blocked. Okay. I keep meaning to do crack shot, but I keep doing forward instead of that. I can't do that. Okay. I overthought that a lot. I'm not really sure though that I want to be having to do a button-based parry. Like, I'm not usually very good at switching gears between offense and defense like that. Like, if I'm gonna be doing a parry, I kind of have to like think about it ahead of time. In most fighting games I've tried doing parries in, the only parries that I get kind of in the flows sometimes are third strike parries, where it's just a forward motion, and that's usually just luck, because I still don't really think about doing parries. I mean, that's my problem. But when you have to hit, I don't like those matching, especially for medium. Medium is the hardest one to just find correctly for me and on a regular arcade stick layout. Anyway, that's just me complaining about not being good enough to use parry mechanic that I have to hit buttons for. But, I mean, like on PlayStation, it's gonna... Okay, that wasn't a smart move. It's gonna cost money to play online anyway, so it's not like I'm gonna be tempted to play online. So I'll just be playing single player, and, I'm basically pretty much ignore parries and like third strike anyway, because I'm not that good at them. I'm gonna lose because I haven't really been paying attention, and I've been jabbering about Street Fighter 6 teasers, and you would probably beat me the first time at least anyway. Oh, nice knee though. Ah. That was awkward. Oh, I thought I could get him in. Oh no, Duncan my donut. Damn, I shouldn't do that. Wow. I knew he was gonna throw a fireball. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about the universal parry exactly, but I could probably just... Oh, that was it. I didn't think I had taken him out once. That was how little I was paying attention. So, did I finally get a single credit clear? I think I did. I don't remember continuing. I don't remember having to repick my color. I guess I did. So I guess I should just babble about... I just need Street Fighters to release a Street Fighter 6 teaser every week. So yeah, I mean, I think it's very cool they're making a quest mode. That's definitely what every fighting game should have, is some kind of single-player quest-type mode. I hope this one does not involve a lot of elaborate just walking around and navigating the city. I don't really want that. I just want, varied fights that just keep me engaged. Anyway, so that could be cool. Could be like if they try to pad it out and give it like, and make you like spend a lot of time clicking through conversations or climbing up ladders, or that would be annoying. If you can't navigate the city with an arcade stick, that would be obnoxious. But I guess we'll see. Not, top of my head, I'm thinking I probably won't like a universal parry mechanic that makes me have to switch gears from offense to whatever and hit middle punch and middle kick, medium punch and medium kick together. It doesn't sound like something I want to do, but whatever. I guess I could ignore it. And then the animations, at this point I think the animations are the thing I'm least into, I guess I should say. The universal parry animations look cool, but the rest of the attack animations just look like Street Fighter V animations, basically, and I really don't like Street Fighter V animations. I did at first, but then I started to realize I was getting very bored watching them, and I think it does come down to, a lot of it comes down to the just slow in and out, constant easing, slowing down of these animations, and they're still doing that in 6 from what they've shown so far, so that's not too thrilling. They did say releases in 2023, so, who knows what's gonna develop between now and then. I was thinking about it the other day before this all came out, are there any 3D fighting games whose animation style I actually like? And I was looking around, and because I don't really like Street Fighters, the recent Street Fighters. Don't like KOF. The 3D KOFs are really bad. I mean, Street Fighters animations, the 3D Street Fighter, specifically 5. I don't remember 4 that well at this point, animation-wise, but you can say the animations in 5 are, professional, and they're well done in their style. It's just that I don't like that particular style and that pace. It's sort of a pace. There's this sort of just rhythm to them where it's always slowing down and speeding back up and slowing down, and it's not really what I want. I want it snappier. I want it punchier. As you can do effortlessly in 2D, I mean, that's the 2D sprite fighting games just don't have this problem. But it is a problem in 3D. You have to figure out how you're gonna make your game look punchy, and I think Street Fighter has not really done it. The method Street Fighter has tried to use of this ease in, ease out, slow down animation is just doesn't work for me. I don't even know what King of Fighters is really trying to do, but their animation kind of borders on incompetent. There's just all kinds of sliding, and just looks real bad. Tekken's just looks really jerky. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's something they did to accommodate the 3D movement. I mean, that is what you would call a 3D fighting game, where you also have this 3D side-to-side motion, so that obviously will complicate what's going on mechanically with the movement of the character. But somehow it's just super jerky in Tekken. If you actually just sit and watch a Tekken character move around in a fight, and maybe it's just everybody's trying to do Korean backdash or, all this weird stuff where you're jamming the stick in a couple different directions to exploit this weird old, I don't know, it gets weird. But anyway, Tekken just looks like a shuddering horror show in terms of motion. What else do we got? I'm not sure about what's Namco's, swordy one. Who cares? I mean, so the other one that springs to mind is is Guilty Gear, and Guilty Gear is kind of the one that's done it correctly. Like if you have to make a fighting game with 3D character models, they have done this thing where they actually kind of animate the 3D frame by frame, and so they will, make the 3D models change position radically, like you would do with a sprite animation or something. So their animation's very snappy because they actually do this frame by frame movement and positioning when they really want the character to be traveling. They don't try to do this smooth stuff like Street Fighter does. They don't try to smooth it out and slow it down. They just snap those skeletons to where you want it to be, as if you were drawing a sprite in a different position than the previous frame, So I think that's a much more faithful way to do it, faithful to how 2D sprite fighters do it. That's really the only one that's working. Oh, except so I remember the other one, of course, is Virtua Fighter. What Virtua Fighter does, they don't do either of those things. They don't do snapping, frame by frame snapping of positions, and they don't do a whole lot of ease in, ease out, slow down, trying to be dramatic type stuff like Street Fighter does. Virtua Fighter just kind of gets by having just really good realistic style animation. Obviously some of the motions that some of the characters do are not really realistic. Eileen, cough, cough. But they still sort of look realistic. They're done in a realistic style that's very carefully done and very well done. So basically you can do a stylistic thing like Guilty Gear, where you're snapping position frame by frame, snapping the model's position frame by frame, which is sort of emulating a frame by frame drawing in a 2D sprite animation. That just works. That's just, that'll do it. Or you just get really good at animating, and you just you don't try to do this dramatic ease in, ease out stuff to death. You actually just do real good animation like a human body would move under, extreme motion. And that's what Virtua Fighter does. Now, I kind of think Virtua Fighter's animations were better circa Virtua Fighter 5 Vanilla than they were at the end, Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, or now Ultimate Showdown, which just uses the same animations. But they're still really, really good and very compelling, and they don't have these problems. It just looks like, it looks like fight choreography, essentially. So I wish Street Fighter would change their animation style, but it doesn't look like they're doing that this time around. Looks like they're sticking with this sort of very blah, just everything's very smooth looking, and it's just this nice ease in, ease out, and it's just so boring. But I guess that's what they're comfortable with at this point. People were saying on event hubs, replies were saying that the characters don't have big hands and feet anymore, and the people who pointed that out were happy about that. I didn't actually pay attention. I'm thinking of some of the Chun-Li poses where she's putting her hand up. I guess it wasn't like a big Muppety hand. I guess that's cool. So anyway, that's what they've shown us of Street Fighter. So you should go watch this. I have not really explained anything adequately. But they finally showed us some actual stuff, so that was good. I mean, if they're actually gonna make like a walk around 3D city for this quest mode thing, I mean that's really expensive. It was very the main trailer from the State of Play thing really struck me as like a GTA thing, because there's a lot of like kind of like gangster rap style music going on, and a lot of people with like dreadlocks and trying to look super hip and stuff, kind of dancing around and posing and all this stuff. So it's trying to have this like quote unquote street vibe and all this stuff, which was fine. It's pretty goofy, and as Street Fighter tends to enjoy being goofy and a little too colorful and all that stuff. That's fine. Where was I going with this? Wow, totally the train of thought derailed. Well, I'm getting old. Wow, I should have stopped this recording like 5 minutes ago. 3D City, yeah, well, so, I mean, if they're trying to be like a GTA-style 3D City, I mean, do they know how much Gran Turismo costs? Or Grand Theft Auto, wow, I should have shut this off. Do they know how much Grand Theft Auto games cost to develop? Because I'm pretty sure it's a lot. Now, Capcom has been flush with cash lately, and I guess that's the only way they would even try to do something like this. I mean, in Street Fighter V, they basically came out of the gate thinking they didn't really need single player. They had this really by the numbers, blah arcade thing you could go through. And then they had a survival mode that was also it was a little weird. You could like buy power-ups to like get some health or energy back, but it didn't. It was just really. It was actually kind of grindy because you couldn't continue. But in order to unlock some of the character colors, I think you had to complete the survival mode on different difficulties, and it was just not fun. And a lot of people posted videos of, like the professional players posted videos of themselves just like grinding through it, and yeah, it kind of sucked. That was single player in Street Fighter V, so at least they're doing a like actual, they're going for it on single player this time. They learned their lesson, it looks like, from 5, which was, well, people didn't buy the game because most people are not, esports professionals who are just going to play online fighting games. Most players are much more casual. They just want something to bop around in, like me. So in that sense, I'm very encouraged by what they've shown us. The universal parry thing, it's not really what I want to do in a fighting game, but like I said, I guess I can just try ignoring it. I ignore a lot of stuff in fighting games that I don't like, and usually end up finding a way to get away with it. But what I can't really ignore would be the entire animation style. Like that eventually wore me down in King of Fighters 14 was the previous one, the first 3D one. Like, I was kind of having fun with that one at first, with kind of the goofy story mode and just the huge number of characters. But man, they all animated so bad, and they pretty much kept that same bad animation in 15. So I'm just and once you notice what bothers you about a game's animation, you can't really stop noticing. And I have a feeling that if I get this Street Fighter 6 and I'm trying to do the quest mode and just, chill out and just play quest mode a bunch, I'll just start noticing these animations in the fights, the attack moves, and it'll start to bother me. But that's the kind of nitpicky, boring person I am, so I guess I can just make things difficult for myself. Anyway, it might be cool. This quest mode might very well be super cool. Hopefully they will make it very easy to get from fight to fight, even if you're just playing with an arcade stick. Some people were worried because it's mainly how they laid it out on the website. If you're looking at the website and you're scrolling down, like there's a page on the engine, the fighting engine, or whatever they're referring to it as. And one of the first things you get to is this box of text that says something about, the controls have been simplified, so it's easy to, pull off, impressive attacks or something like that. And if that's the first thing you come to on a Street Fighter web page, you're going to be like, oh my god, they have flipped the boat over. They have jumped that shark and thrown it into the sun. But then you scroll down and you realize that, there's just an option to set it to easy control if you want. And you can still have it on the regular 6-button Street Fighter motion controls, of course. So I don't, that's fine. I am a little worried about, are you going to be able to navigate this quest mode city with your arcade stick? But I'm sure they'll have to think of that, right? They'll have to. And then I guess my other worry is that maybe all these flashing, swirly color things will end up being a little too flashy for my eyeballs. But so far, even though the trailer is very flashy, it's flashy in more of a swirly, slightly gentle way than, even Street Fighter 5 doesn't look super flashy compared to a lot of fighting games, but there are these bright little pinpoint flashes, I think is what it was, when basically anything happens that are just as annoying, really, to the eyeballs when they're not happy. Anyway, I gotta get going. Street Fighter 6, intriguing, not coming out until next year, so I'm sure we'll get to see a lot more of it before it actually comes out, and we'll know a lot more than we do now. But what they tease us with is definitely intriguing. Well, the other thing was that the like 3 brief shots of what looked like actual navigation of this city, whatever it is, didn't look so hot. Like it was a distinct step down in terms of modeling and lighting and texturing than the rest of the trailer, which of course a lot of it was pre-rendered, I suppose, but that's what you're talking next gen now. This isn't even Grand Theft Auto 5, which was previous gen. You're technically on, PlayStation 5 now, even though hardly anybody can get one, and they're still going to put the game out for PlayStation 4. But anyway, are they gonna spend the dough to get the ridiculous visual fidelity throughout a large, urban environment? Because that's, I guess they're opening up the wallet. Well, but so far maybe they aren't, because those shots of the navigating the 3D city, the city did not look super great. It just didn't look like, next gen detail with, shaders and lighting and shadow and amazing textures and bump maps and everything all over the place. It looked like a PS3 thing, kind of. That's, it's an old dumb thing to say, but it definitely didn't look as impressive as the rest of the trailer, just in terms of render quality. So maybe they'll be working on that. I mean, if they're trying to make this city, man, that's I wouldn't want to be. I don't think I'd want to be having to work on that part of the project, because that's going to be a real pain. And I kind of wish, my first reaction when I saw this, if they're going to have some kind of 3D city traversal mode, was just, oh no, I wish they could just spend that money on the fighting part. But quest mode, I mean, I've always thought about, well, why can't we have a fighting game where you like move around like a beat 'em up or something, and you go different places and you just meet people, you explore around and you find people to fight, and they might give you little quests, so you have to go somewhere else and run into other fights and all that stuff, and then it goes into an actual fighting encounter. But I guess I thought of it as a very simple, like scrolling beat 'em up style of movement, rather than a full-on 3D Grand Theft Auto navigate this 3D world thing, which is going to be expensive, Capcom. I hope they don't bankrupt themselves on this. I mean, obviously they figure this is what you got to do to get the kids, right? Because they really struggled to capture the mass market with Street Fighter V, and they eventually did end up adding in some single player modes, this very elaborate cinematic story mode, which nobody, I don't think, was asking for really. And like 5 different arcade modes following the different Street Fighters over the years, and it's kind of weird what they did. I mean, so they probably spent way too much money on that stuff, trying to catch up and overdoing things a bit to try to recapture some mass market with Street Fighter V. And you can't really, like, once a game has come out, that's really your opportunity. If you don't get it then, you're looking at very much diminishing returns if you try to change things and add things and recapture that initial publicity and market that you missed the first time around. So I don't know how well that's worked for them. They keep saying they're selling, however many millions of copies of the game, but I mean, a lot of that is like they put it on sale a lot. I don't know. Anyway, they're obviously trying a lot harder this time to get the mass market, trying to get that GTA fighting in the streets, urban hitness, tough guy thing going on. So more power to them, I guess. Just don't make it. I mean, make it a fighting game. Don't make me play a walking around the mean streets of Metro City game. But I mean, the nice thing about Virtua Fighter's quest mode is that you don't have any of that. It's a very abstracted, menu-driven thing where you just click a button. It's like, oh, here's 3 people you can fight, pick one, and then you're right into a fight. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to run in some 3D avatar around the city. You're just looking at this very abstracted map, and you pick an arcade location on the map, and then people pop up instantly, immediately. And then you click on one of them to fight them. And kind of doesn't look like they're doing that for Street Fighter 6. Looks like they're going to make you run from place to place in 3D with your arcade stick. Like, they showed a character, like, climbing a ladder to get to a rooftop, and then another character, I think, like, uppercut a garbage can in an alley and it exploded or something. I mean, I don't think that's really a great use of development funds for in a fighting game, but you know, I'm sure if they get even a fraction of that Grand Theft Auto market, they'll consider it money well spent. But does that mean that Street Fighter is just going to become a Grand Theft Auto with a one-on-one fighting mode? You know, probably not. Probably not. It'll be a fighting game with a kind of half-baked Grand Theft Auto mode, maybe. Except you're not driving, you're just running around. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I hope they keep the teasers coming to keep everybody entertained. Alright, well, who cares? Who cares what I think about this game that's not coming out for over a year? Thanks for watching this Capcom vs. SNK Pro video. I believe I got my first single credit clear on difficulty 8. I think that's what happened. I was just babbling so much about my stupid impressions of Street Fighter 6's teasers that I wasn't even... I thought I was a round behind in that fight against Geese, so I'm gonna have to watch the tape and see if I actually did continue, but I don't remember it continuing. I don't remember having to repick my characters, so I think I did it. There was at least one extremely close match on the way to the boss, but I think I did it. Yay for me if I did. If I didn't, then never mind. I'm very embarrassed. Alright, well, that's definitely all. Thank you, and, maybe Capcom's going to release a teaser trailer a day. That would be super. Maybe we'll get another one tomorrow. Probably not. We'll probably have to wait at least 2 months. I don't know, I just pulled that out of my hiney, but probably have to wait a while. Alright, good night, thank you, good night.